Hi guys, I'm John from eSilencers.com, your top source for silencers online. In this video today, we're going to go over the process of the new regulations on purchasing suppressors and other NFA items, and some tips on how to make the new process as easy as possible. On July 13, 2016, the way an individual or trust purchases a suppressor or other Class 3 items changed. Despite what many were led to believe, the new regs do not prevent somebody from purchasing NFA items, so you might ask, what was the whole scare about? Well, back approximately 3 years ago, the ATF was made aware that there were people on trust that could not legally purchase a gun, but were legally allowed to possess an NFA item as a co-trustee on a trust. This is what spurred 41F and changed the process for purchasing these items. These changes include, first off, trustees and co-trustees on a trust who are considered responsible persons have to include A set of fingerprint cards per person, B, a picture from the shoulder up of each person taken within the last year of the application, C, a separate questionnaire application for each person, D, a copy of each application and questionnaire sent to each person's local chief law enforcement, E, a copy of the trust included with the paperwork. Keep in mind, you have a 2-year window where you will not have to send another copy of the trust if purchasing another item in those 2 years. If you're purchasing as an individual, the process is the same as a trust, except you will not have any separate responsible person's applications. The one thing positive about the new regs, though, is that you no longer have to have your local chief law enforcement officer sign off on your paperwork, even if you're an individual. So here are some helpful tips on the new paperwork. First off, if you don't have a trust set up yet, it's super important to set the trust up right. There are many different ones out there who can set one up for you. They range anywhere from $80 to $300. The most important thing to remember, though, is to try to limit how many people you have as co-trustees or responsible persons. The less the better. If they can legally take possession, carry, or make decisions on behalf of the items on the trust, they will have to fill out the questionnaire and fingerprint cards. It's best to only have your close family on the trust and have them set up as beneficiaries instead. Beneficiaries do not have to do any paperwork when purchasing an item, because they have no legal authority over the trust until you die. Keep in mind, though, you can always add or take off anybody on the trust without notifying the ATF. This is a loophole the ATF is aware of but has no plans to change. Here's an example. Let's say your brother wants to take your suppressor on a hunting trip. You can always add him as a co-trustee and take him off when he returns it. It's perfectly legal to do this. The only ones that have to do the questionnaire, fingerprints, and pictures are the ones who are on your trust at the time you purchase an item. Next tip, make a checklist of all steps you have to do with the new regs. There are more steps now with the new regs, so doing this will be helpful. Feel free to print off our Easy 41F checklist on our website to assist you. We have it set up in an easy to follow format. Next tip, it's always going to be easier to purchase as an individual. You only have to worry about yourself, and you will have less paperwork. Most definitely less chances for errors. The only negatives of going this route is A, you're the only person who can legally possess the item. However, anybody who can legally possess a gun can possess your NFA items if you're present when they do so. Here's an example. You take your suppressor to the range and let your friends or family shoot it. You're within your legal boundaries as long as you're close by. B, there will be a little more paperwork for your family to do when you die if you go this route. They will have to fill out a Form 5 application, which is tax-free. You don't have to worry about this form if you have a trust if they are set up as beneficiaries. Last but not least, probably the most difficult part about the new regs is the fingerprint cards per responsible persons. The good news is you have options, which makes this step not as bad as it seems. Here are some different ways to get the fingerprint cards done. A, you can do the fingerprint cards yourself as long as you are properly equipped to take them. The ATF clearly states that they should be taken by someone properly equipped. In order to be properly equipped, you will need the FD-258 fingerprint cards, a standard black ink fingerprint pad, and a fingerprint card holder. The holder is not a must, but is very helpful. We have a full video on this, and we sell the complete fingerprint kit for $25 to $30 on our website. B, there are also several different local police agencies and independent contractors who have the machines that print off your prints. It's best to ask them to print off several extra copies for future purchases while you're down there. Most places will be happy to do so. If you do print off extras, however, be sure not to date the extra copies until you're ready to use them. And lastly, there are also dealers who are offering this service now for a small fee. Some do them manual and some use machines. One more helpful tip. There are dealers or companies out there that offer to do all the paperwork and send it in themselves with you paying the $200 tax stamp to them. While this is definitely convenient and it's totally okay for them to fill the paperwork out, it's always better to send the paperwork and $200 in yourself. I have heard countless horror stories of dealers losing paperwork or never sending the paperwork at all. By you sending the paperwork in yourself, you have complete control over your paperwork. You will also know when the ATF cashes your check or runs your credit card. If you have any other questions about the new regs, feel free to message us at info@eSilencers.com.